Hey, Mungera.
Si ça non, allez mettre Mira ou connaître Tomi, est-ce que vous caille?
T'es du mais.
Mira.
Allez de venir ngono.
Allez de faire barada.
Dokala ngalaje. Baraya dianda. Ma fille, aka tena ka Jimira clean. Aka dire.
Edouard Bemi.
Nguba foni ne mo foroko kele bila bali.
Jimira, ani temira, foroko kele bila bali.
Jimira, ani temira. Dora manga furotuguni fo Jimira, ani temira. O mineral mira kanani dagabana jie au ka du anaw yere ka lafiya kama asuguya fla bidon fitini ani bidon belebele ba.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special show dedicated to the African writers in promoting the African languages and identities. Today we are with us passionate authors, thinkers, and of course cultural advocates. Without forgetting our special guests or audience. So your reflections, our guests, your reflections and thinking will help us to lead this conversation. So let us now dive into this debate through culture and the soul of Africa. I will ask Mr. DIARRA to join us in this room, who will lead the conversation. Mr. DIARRA, please join us.
And for your rights. Yeah, no, Yusuf Maswa is here for a dance. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the public show. So today we have a special topic. The topic is the role of African writers in promoting African languages and identities. So this show is sponsored by Mira. Clap for Mira. So my first question is addressed to DB Keita. So what is your take on today's topic as a teacher of African literature?
Thank you very much, Mr. DIARRA.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to greet the dear audience and dear colleagues. You have in front of you, Mr. DB Keita. Okay. I'm a lecturer in African and Anglo-American studies. As a lecturer in African and Anglo-American studies, when you look at Africa, first of all, I'm going to talk about the roles of those writers, because the African writers play a paramount role in African societies.
Okay.
I mean that the primary duties of the African writers is to restore African culture and dignity, which were deeply distorted by the colonial narrative.
Yes.
So through their works, African writers should correct the misconception about Africa by presenting the continent through identity, culture, and humanity. So by doing so, they promote African identities.
Okay.
They promote African culture.
Yeah.
And they also contribute to the rebirth of African consciousness. That's the reason why Professor Bakary said in his novel, which is entitled Le Monde Africain doit se réveiller, he states, Africa must reclaim its story and tell it through its own eyes. So here, Bakary visions is clear. So Africans should no longer allow other people to define who they are, and which is very important.
My second question is addressed to Dr. Binta. So in what ways does the use of African languages in literature strengthen cultural identity and national pride?
Thank you so much, Mr. DIARRA, for inviting me to talk about this very important topic. So I think that the using of African languages can help strengthen our cultural identity in many ways.
First of all, we all know that language and culture are very closely interwoven. So it means that when you use African culture, it's a way of spreading African culture in the literature. It's a way of spreading the language. It's a way of spreading the identity throughout the world. So it is the first step towards self-recognition and self-valuing. So it's a way of saying that I am proud of my culture, and I'm using this culture so that everyone can know about my culture. So if you use African languages, this is what you do. This is first. Second, it is for me a first step toward decolonization of African mind. He talked about decolonization of African in general, and I think that this is very important. This is also a way of, spreading African culture and making people know about the values for Africa or Africans as a community. Because when you use the language of a community, you are in a way showing that this community matters. Right. So in addition to that, when a language is used, is a way for this language to resist imposition, is a way for this language to resist colonization. If you want to know about the world today, you just read about people that have written about things. So it's the same for Africa. If Africa is to advertise about their culture, they need to write in their own languages.
My first question is Chike Johnson. So what challenges do African writers face when choosing to write on their native languages instead of colonial languages?
I think, the writing is a business.
Yes.
If you ask me, and 90% of African writers are self-publishers. And when you are a self-publisher, it means that you, after writing, you need to look for money to publish. After publish, you need to look for money to print, And when you want to do that, you might need to look for bigger market for that. And when you use a local language for that, so of course, a few people are going to patronize you for that. So in order to have a wide audience, so of course you need to use word lingua franca. So that is what I feel is major reason why people feel that using English or French is better in writing.
So my fourth question is addressed to Yusuf Makasuba. So to what extent can writing in African languages help to decolonize African education system? Professor.
Okay. When you asked me to come, I said I don't want to come because I don't want to foray in African literature, which is not my major. But because the underlying assumption of this is about writing, I think I can have something to say. If not, I don't find myself in what have been depicted by Mr. DB, by Binta. I don't find myself. I'm not in this. It's not the same age. I'm no longer a revolutionary guy and things like that. I have a critical thinking because critical thinking that I will raise some serious question to Mr. DB. To what extent those languages are written? He just said that. The Nigerian guy has just said that. To what extent? I know Bambara is written, but what is the audience of Bambara? If you want to wake up people, the consciousness and things like that. No, the lingua franca is French, is English. No. So, and you're going to write in those languages. Who is going to read you? How many? What is your audience? This is the size. This is the problem. So I have more critical approach of this, and I don't find myself in what they have defined. It's not my problem too much,
Okay. Thank you, Professor. So we have to clap again for my guest. So I have a question for the public. So in your opinion, what needs to change in our school in order for the young people to better embrace their own literature and linguistic heritage?
My name is Musa Sidibe. So by the way, in my opinion, we have to change a little bit our language. because we have to teach students in local languages or indigenous languages. Because if you are trying to explain something to someone else or to a student, you have to explain the thing in the language that the person understands first.
My name is Bakary Sissoko. What I would suggest is to, encourage them in reading. Because as you know, the more you read, the more things you will know. And the more you learn, the more places you will go also. So if we invite them to be bookworm, I think they will know much more about African writers' work. So if students don't read, it's not good at all for the future of the country.
My name is Proverb. I think what we need now is to promote that, okay? Because as a teacher taught, if you read now in Bambara, they will say there are less people who will read you, okay?
My name is Leila Idara. I think that Malian authority and Malian students can have a stability mentality to change our school or our study or our education. It's if you want to change someone, you need to change your mind first.
My name is Mrs. Jakite Maimuna Jara. I can say I agree with all of you. But first of all, I think we have to change the school program first. So, and somebody say promoting our education in our native language. Like, I'm not critiquing anybody, but like Mr. Makasuba said, anyway, we have to start from somewhere.
I think this should firstly start by promoting our values, our poems, and things that contain our literatures. All right? The approach that says that we have to teach in our local language, this is something that I'm not for. Teaching in our local languages, this needs to take time. We do not completely need to teach in our languages, but we need to value our writers and the contents of our literature.
Thank you very much. Time has come for the tea. The tea party. The tea party is sponsored by Temira. So I call Temira to come with Angel to share the tea. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Clap for Temira once again. So let us start by our guest first.
Yeah.
Do you have a tea?
Yes.
Now, how was it?
It was great.
Okay, tell it.
Yeah. Yes, I have it. It was great, and the best way to exemplify this is to show, Temira.
Yeah.
This is really, I like it. Okay. This is my second time from the office of Mr. Jara to here, and this is really good. It tastes good.
Mrs. Binta, how was it for you?
I think that it tastes very well.
Okay.
I also like it. Yes, the taste was just perfect.
I agree.
Thank you.
On my left side?
Oh, yes. It's
yeah.
a nice
Our hofer.
Oh, yes.
How was it for you?
Very good. Very
okay.
Good, yeah.
Now you can write down on Temira. Is it possible for you?
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
why not?
write down on it. So,
why not?
as you are a big writer.
Why not? It's a nice tea. So even though I'm taking this for the second time in my life, I think it's nice.
Okay. Is it okay for you?
Yeah, I do appreciate it.
Very well.
Yeah, okay.
So our partners are present here.
Yes.
Okay. Let us tell where is located the company of Temira.
On the road of Mayambugu.
There are 4 English speakers.
Yes.
Yeah, I very appreciate this.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for coming, Mr. Diarra.
Thank you, Angel.
Yeah, you can lead your debates.
Thank you very much for Temira for coming. Thank you for MECC, our big professor and Dr. Binta for coming. So after the tea party, let's go for the proverb. The proverb of the day is an African proverb. So until the lion learns how to write, every story will glorify the hunter. This is the proverb of today. So I give the floor to the audience to say something about the proverb.
My name is Musa Ouattara. On today's the proverb, as they say, if we have not written our own story, other can say the story and change a lot of things about it.
So I'm Sumaila Jallo. It's talking about the importance of how African writers get up and write on our stories. That's the importance to show that if you work in your own way, so you can promote yourself, you can stop other people to destroy your story.
I'm Bakary Agdauna. It is like we Africans, until we start to write our own story, until we start don't letting others write for us. It is better for us to write and to make read our story for ourselves. Because if someone else did it, for sure he can put something else who is not perhaps the true. You see, and it is very important for Africans to know their story and to write it for themselves.
My name is Madam Wage Fatou Dramé. So my analysis of this proverb is that it are showing us we African to write our story, our own story, because it is Arabic and European who write our story. If ourselves try to write our story, it is very important.
My name is Binta Jabi. So like my mentor said, you are the author of your movie, or you are the actor of your movie. You have to write your story. Because if you, like, he is my friend, if I give him my story and to write it, he will write it in his own way. But if I write it, I will add some details.
Thank you, everybody. So I have something to say about this proverb. This proverb means that history and stories are often told from the perspective of those in power, for example, the place of hunters. So it's not until the less powerful, the lion, can tell their own stories that a more balanced and truthful account can be presented. So it emphasizes the importance of the oppressed telling their own narrative to counter dominant viewpoint. After the proverb, we have a young man with us. So he's going to say something about the importance of writing. His name is Shaka Sega Semega. He's here? Semega. Okay.
Today I'm going to talk about some importance of books. Books are the heart of education. They are more than pages and words. They are windows to knowledge, imagination, and discovery. Through books, students learn about the world, its peoples, its ideas, and everything. Books connect us to history, science, art, and culture. In education, books play three main roles. First, they build the knowledge. Every subject begins with reading and understanding. Second, they develop language and thinking. When we read, we learn new words, grammar, and ways of expressing ideas. Third, books inspire imagination. They help learners dream, create, and think beyond the classroom. Unlike technology, books never run out of battery. They are constant components for learning, reflection, and growth. A book can shape a student's future, teach values, and open doors of opportunity. So, books are not just the tools, they are teachers, they are friends and guides. Education begins with growth in them. I want to end it by giving a quote. A room without books is like a body without soul. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Semiga. So we continue our debate. What and how should African writers do to promote our languages and identities?
Okay, this is a big question, but I think that they can do through the different novels, means the books, but through the writings, they need to show that we African, we had culture, civilization, but they must be proud to be African first, because if you want to invite someone to adore or to like some things, first of all, you have to show those people that these things is very important through their behaviors, through their daily activities. And through their writings also, I mean, through their books, they have to show that we Africa, which is considered as the cradle of mankind. Mainly, even the ancient Egypt is even considered as the cradle of civilization.
Yes.
It means that we African, we had known civilization before the arrivals of colonizers in Africa. By promoting many things, like Kurwamfua's chapters, 42 principles of math in ancient Egypt, and so on and so on. I think that by doing that, they will be able to promote African culture, African identities, and many things.
Okay. Thank you very much, DB. So how do translation and bilingual writing affect the representation of African identity in global literary spaces?
Okay, so I think that translation can affect culture in many ways.
Yeah.
I can see two sides of the coins. It can affect it negatively, but also positively.
Yeah, okay.
I will talk about the positive side first. So, you know, through translation, we open to the world.
Yes.
They have just said it. If you write in Bamanakan and you don't translate it into English, who's going to know what you are writing about?
Yeah,
so you isolate yourself if you refuse translation. So it's a way of opening our culture, our identity to the world. It's selling ourselves, selling our values. This is one thing. Negatively is that there are things that we cannot translate.
Yeah.
For example, if you take some cultural values like Sinanguya or Mogoya, these are things that even when you try to translate them, they will lose a little bit their essence. You don't know how you are going to explain to somebody what you mean by Sinanguya, for example. So it will affect a little bit what you want to say.
Yes.
And if we take jokes also, it's the same. When you translate jokes, it will lose its humor. Because what you want to say through this joke, you need to belong to this culture in order to understand the joke, first of all. The same for idioms. There are some idioms that you cannot translate in another language. You can find an equivalent, okay? This idiom or this proverb means that, but the exact translation, it will be very difficult for you to find it. But still, I encourage translation because it is through translation that we open ourselves to the world. It is through translation that we also learn about the world. We read in English, but we have also to sell ourselves in our own languages by translating them into English.
So how can African government and institutions support writers who choose to publish in African languages? Johnson. Yeah.
So I believe that Africa, the government can help the writers in terms of publishing, you know. So just like you have national libraries, so there's supposed to be a national printing press.
Okay.
So where writers can go probably and either to print for a cheaper rate. You know, government can make that possible. So when you print in a cheaper rate, you can sell to students in a cheaper rate, you know. So I believe that is a way government can help writers to have a national printing press.
My last question is addressed to Mr. Makasuba. So can you give us some specific examples or illustration of what our writers should do?
Yeah, in Badugu Juliba, grade 9 or grade 8, we studied a book written by African writers, mainly from East Africa and Nigeria, West Africa. Man, this book is incredible. It is Langlais and Africa, English in Africa.
Yes.
And this is what I'm going to illustrate one of those stories that moved me to tears, moved many of my classmates at this age. I was 16 maybe, 16 years old. We all cried that day. So what African writers should do, particularly in our classroom, is to come with their own samples, so that to show the student it is not a long shot.
Yeah.
Not to intimidate them. If they see their teacher writing, they know that it is possible. And then those stories should also come with morals. For example, a life of a fisherman.
Thank you, dear guests, Dr. Binta, Professor Yusuf, Echeke Johnson, and Professor D.V. Keita. Thank you for coming. I thank all the English club who are here. I thank also MATE, Malian Association of Teachers of English. And we were forgetting my team, English time team. They are here. Gosu, Angel, Fatou Dramé, Maria Koulibaly. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.